Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you step by step how you can make a website without having any prior experience. And what I want to prove in this video is that you can replicate what you're going to see here in order to create a website for pretty much any business, profession, project, or anything else you might need a website for. So maybe you want to build a portfolio website, a website for your CV, or maybe you're a lawyer, a photographer, an artist, personal trainer, a dentist, a freelancer, and you need a website to show your work and put yourself out there in order to bring more clients and get more recognition. Or you have a business like a restaurant, a construction company, a cafe, a real estate agency, or pretty much any other business. You can even do dropshipping or just have an online store. But anyway, these are just some examples out of my head. The main point here is that you can use what you're going to learn in this tutorial to make a website for pretty much whatever you need a website for. So this video is not bound to the examples I just gave you. On the contrary, you can use this tutorial to make a website for pretty much any need, profession, or business you have. Now, having a website for a business, freelance or profession, if you're self-employed, I think it's kind of a must these days, and especially in the coming years, if you want to make more money, get more traction, and maximize your profits. So putting your business or yourself online with a website, it's definitely one of the best ways to make more money this year and in the following years. And the great thing about following this free tutorial is that you'll save a few $100s that you'll have normally paid to a developer or an agency to make this website for you. So consider yourself already profitable, because this is quite a significant saving, and now you can put that money to a better use. Now with that being said, let's actually jump to my computer and get this tutorial going. And the first step is to open your browser. Google Chrome is the best for this kind of stuff in my opinion, but you can use Safari or pretty much any browser you want. Now the next step is to type here in your browser novice2boss.com/wixclass and hit return. Or you can take it from the bonus lecture, which is the last lesson in this course, which you can find inside the course here on Udemy on the right side. So this is the current lesson, and here at the bottom, click on the bonus lecture like this. And now you can see start here, and by the way, even if the position will change or you'll see more links added to this lecture, always remember that you can find this link in the bonus lecture and it will always be the first one. So let's click on it, or just type it inside the browser and hit return as I showed you before. This will make sure you end up on the correct sign up page, and will also allow you to start on the same page as I am, which will definitely help you follow along much easier. And don't worry if what you see might have a design that is a bit different, or you see a different image. They tend to update their design and the way this page looks quite a bit, but this will not change the way things work, so the functionality remains the same, and what you see in this tutorial is still going to work perfectly. So just follow along and don't worry about some design changes you might see. Now in my opinion, two of the best and the easier ways to make a website today are to either use Wix, which is definitely the easiest and less technical, and the second one is WordPress, where you have to be a bit more tech savvy. And the reason I chose Wix for this tutorial is that my goal here is to actually help you build a website as quickly and as easily as possible without needing any technical background or pretty much any prior experience with this kind of stuff. So you can actually do this even if you've never had contact with these things before. So back to our tutorial, the first thing we have to do here is to type our email address into this box like this. Also, as you can see, this is going to be completely free, so let's just click on start now. And we also have to set up a password, which I'm going to do right now. Also, you can use your Google or Facebook account to sign up as well, but for me there's no actual need for that, as I already typed all my details, so I'm going to click sign up right here. Now, here Wix want to know a bit more about us, so they can give us a bit of a tailored experience and some personalized suggestions that will help us to build the website we want. So here you can choose for myself, a business, or a friend, which is probably the case for most of us, or if you actually want to make this for a client, you can choose the second option. Now you can just type what kind of website you want to make. So maybe it's a pizza restaurant, so you can type pizza, and this will be the first choice. Or maybe you want to make an online store, and you can choose that. So this has a very large pool of options, so they'll most likely have it as an option regardless of what you type here. Or you can click skip here at the bottom, but if you know exactly what kind of website you want to make, it's a good thing to just pick it from there, and don't be afraid to be specific, because what you have in mind will most likely be an option here. And doing these steps will actually end up helping you, because Wix will give you templates and recommendations based on what you choose here. So if you choose, let's say, a real estate agency, when we will have a look for a team, Wix will actually recommend themes based on what we picked here. Now of course you can change that, and you can also see all the themes if you want, so you're not limited in any way by what you choose here. But if you choose these things here instead of skipping, Wix will have a more intuitive approach and give you exactly what you need to make that type of website, which is awesome. And as a beginner, I think this will actually save you some time. So for this video, I'm going to make a website for an ice cream shop, so I'll type ice cream right here. And as you can see, there are quite a few choices related to ice cream, and I'm going to click ice cream shop and then next. Now here you can enter the name of your website, but if you don't have that yet or you're not sure, just click skip and you can figure that out later. Also, you can change it anytime, so you can just type it in here even if you're not sure. For my site, I'll type One Click Ice Cream, which is probably not the best name for an actual ice cream shop that has a physical location, but this is just an example for our tutorial, so I'm not actually going to use this site. Also, if you're not sure what your goals with this website, you don't have to stress about that for now, just click skip here. But if you know, again, it's a good thing to mention it. And this is kind of the last question, where you have a bunch of options in terms of what features you want to add to your website. And as you can see, they recommend these 4 options for my site because I specify that it's going to be an ice cream shop, and you'll probably see some personalized recommendations as well if you specified what kind of website you want to make in the previous questions. So I got a chat feature where customers can ask questions, an Instagram feed, restaurant menus, and food orders. So let's assume our ice cream shop right here has a flavor menu and accepts orders as well. So I'm going to leave this check. Now, if you did the previous steps and you got recommendations and you think that some of these don't apply to your website, you can just uncheck them like this. Now, if you didn't complete the previous tips and you got no recommendations, you can just have a look in here and just check what you think will fit best to your website. So maybe you're a personal trainer or an accountant and you want to take appointments. This will allow you to add bookings on your website, so viewers can actually schedule appointments with you. Same with pricing plans. There are also forms if you want to collect emails, online store if you want to sell products, portfolio section if you want to showcase your work, and so on. There are quite a lot of stuff here that will basically help anyone create a website they actually want for their specific needs. Anyway, you don't have to spend a lot of time here or anything like that. You can actually add features from your editor as well. It's just a bit easier to pick them from here. So just use your common sense and there's no need to overthink it. Now, one quick example of using your common sense here is that if you're making this for a food business or something in that sphere like I'm doing, you can simply pick restaurant menus, food orders if you do that, table reservations, and as a general opinion, forms, chat, and Instagram feed might be a good idea for anyone. And when you're ready, just click next. And now the account setup is done and we can just go to our dashboard. So click go to dashboard right here, and let's wait a couple of seconds while our dashboard is being prepared. And this is our dashboard. Now, one thing to mention here that might seem a bit confusing at first is that the next time when you go to wix.com, like, let me actually open a new tab here and do that. And now, as you can see, there's actually no dashboard anymore, and the main focus of our account here is on this page called My Sites. This is basically because we can create multiple websites within our account, and every website has its own dashboard. So now the way to go to the dashboard that we saw when we created our account is to click on the site right here. This is the site One Click Ice Cream that we just created, and by clicking this, we are being taken to its dashboard, which we saw initially. So basically, this is the place where we can manage our site, design it, connect the domain, see how many visitors we have, and do pretty much anything related to our site. Now, coming back to the first tab here, as you can see, you might get a pop-up like this with a 50% off, and this offer is going to be available in your account for the next 2 or 3 days, and this is quite a great offer, especially because the plans are already really cheap. But anyway, I will close this tab for now because it's just a duplicate. So now let's actually start creating our website. So to do that, we can click here on design site. And now we are presented with 2 options, which are to either let Wix create a site for us or customize a design template. So the first one is to let Wix create a site for us, which might seem like the better option, but it's actually not, and let me tell you why. So if you go with this one, you'll basically have to answer a few questions, pick a color scheme, and then you'll get about 3 really basic and minimal template options and some extra pages that you can add if you want. And once you pick that, they will just prepare a website for you that you can then edit depending on your own preferences and content, similar to the second option, but the difference is that the website you get is not going to have many features at all, and in my opinion, even if it's easier to create, it's actually going to be harder to make a decent professional website out of it. So if you want something easy to make but not very professional looking and limited when it comes to customization, you can go with the first option, but for this tutorial I'm actually going to go with the second one, which is to pick a template. And here, as you can see, we got a lot of templates to choose from. Now they recommend me the ones that fit my niche because I said I'm going to make a website for an ice cream shop, but you can click here on all templates in order to see all of them without any filters. There are a lot of themes here in a lot of different niches. As you can see, we have a lot of different categories here up top, so they are able to fulfill pretty much anyone's needs. Now I'm sure that not everyone is going to make a website for an ice cream shop, so you'll not see the same thing as me, but if you answer the questions in the beginning, then you will most likely be sent content to the right category of templates that fits your purpose. Now, if you didn't do that, or you feel like they didn't got the correct idea of what website you actually want to make, or you just change your mind and want to make a different website, you can use these categories right here to find the right one for you. So as you can see on the business and services, they have real estate, consulting, finance and law, cars, pets, and a lot more. And on the right side, you got health, beauty, fashion, travel, restaurants, with a lot of subcategories for each one. Then you even got landing pages and professional CVs, which I said in the beginning that if you want to make a professional CV website or a portfolio, you can do that as well. Then you have online store if you want to make a store, and you got a lot of niches to choose from. Then you got the creative categories with photography, design, architecture, arts, music if you are a musician, a DJ, then even portfolios and so on. Same with community, you've got weddings and a lot of different stuff. So you can just browse through these and find the right category of templates for you. And I'm pretty sure you will, because Wix has pre-made templates for pretty much any type of website. And another quick way to find the right templates for you is to just use this search bar right here, where you can just type what kind of website you want to make, which is basically your website's niche. Mine is ice cream shop, which is already typed in here because I answered the questions in the beginning, but if you didn't, just type it in here and you'll get the templates for that. Now obviously most of these are not exactly for an ice cream shop except this first one, but the thing is that you can actually use any of these to make a website for an ice cream shop. Even this donut shop theme or the bakery one, and I know it might not sound very believable now, but the structure is the same for all of these. So for this kind of shop, even for a restaurant or a food truck, you basically need the same thing, like to display a menu on the website, to say something about your business, including the address and the opening hours, an online ordering system if you do that, which pretty much all of these have. So we can click view right here to actually preview a template and see how it's going to look like. And you can see here order online, menu, same with this one, and with this one. All of them have it, so my point is to not be alarmed if you search the type of website you want to make and you get maybe just one or two exact matches and the rest are like this, because you can pretty much use any of them to make the kind of website you want. And I'm actually going to prove this to you in this video. So when we finish the ice cream shop, I'm gonna transform it into a pizza restaurant, so you're going to see how easily an ice cream shop that uses an ice cream shop template can become a pizza restaurant. Because the most important thing is not to find a template that's an absolute perfect match, but it's actually the skill of knowing how to use the Wix editor to your advantage, and this is exactly what I'm going to show you in this tutorial. So don't get alarmed if you don't find the perfect match. Use a similar template and watch this tutorial all the way to the end, because by the end of it you'll know exactly how to turn it into the website you want. Now if neither of these categories nor the search bar are the right choice for you, you can also just go to all templates, where you can see all the templates freely. Also, another way to make your website on Wix is to use a blank template and just drag and drop completely from scratch, create your own kind of template made of different already pre-made pieces and sections, but that's a bit more advanced. And in this tutorial our goal is to create a website using a pre-made template where everything is already kind of made for us and we just change it to our own content and a few other things here and there, so it will fit our purpose entirely. This is the easier way, so you can use these categories, the search bar or all templates, to find the right template for you. And always keep in mind when you choose this that it doesn't have to be a perfect match, it just have to be similar to the website you want to make, like how you can see here with my ice cream shop example. So this one or this one will be just fine for this purpose as well. Now I'm going to pick the ice cream shop template right here. So if you have a template that is an exact match for the type of website you want to make, as I have here, I suggest you to pick that as well, which will be the case for most of you, and probably you'll have more than just one. I have just one because ice cream shop is not a very popular choice, which is why I actually chose to make this one, so I could show you what to do in this situation. But most of you will have more than just one template option that is an exact match, so just pick the one you like the most. And for the very small percentage of you that will find just one exact match as me, pick that, or if you have none, just pick a template similar to what you want to make using your common sense. And don't worry, because in this video you will learn how to edit it in order to make the website you want. So to choose the theme, click edit right here, and now we are being taken to our editor. Let's give it a couple of seconds for everything to set up, and boom, here's our template, and now the fun begins. Now the very first thing you'll notice are these little buttons on the left side, which I'm actually going to go through in a second. But before that, let's click anywhere on this page, and now you're able to modify any section of this website by just moving your mouse on the section you want to edit, like this. So here you can see we have quick edit, add section and some other stuff. And now here I'm actually in light modes, and I want to change to full mode, which can be done by clicking here where it says light mode, then select full mode like this. Now as you can see, in full mode we have even more editing options, and we can actually select and edit each element individually. Also, what I want to mention is that you might be taken directly to the full mode and maybe don't even have this option to switch from light mode to full mode. From my experience, some people might be put in light mode and have this option to switch as I have here, and some might not even have this at all, which means they'll be directly put in full mode. So don't worry about it. If you have it and you're in light mode, then switch to the full mode as I did, and if you don't have it at all, that means you're already in full mode. So before we start changing this template into our own custom website, I actually want to give you a brief overview of this toolbar, which contains the buttons we just saw earlier, as well as this bar up top, because both of them will actually come in handy when we'll start customizing our website. So let's start with the top bar right here, and the very first thing you see here is this drop down page menu, and in short, this allows you to go to any page on this website. And this is useful because you can't actually click buttons while in editing mode. So if you click here on our navigation menu, for example, on flavors, which will take us to the flavors page, we get these options right here to edit the menu. So in short, buttons don't work in editing mode. They work just fine though in preview mode, or if you publish your website, which you can do using these little buttons right here. We will actually do that later on, but for now let's move on to the next thing here on our toolbar. And the next useful thing here are these two options, which allow us to switch the view between mobile and desktop, which will help us make our website look good and be responsive on mobile as well. And this is very important because a lot of your visitors will actually come from mobile. So if you click on this phone icon right here, you're actually going to see how your website looks on mobile, and you can edit this as well. And the great part is that the changes you're going to make here are not going to affect your desktop version. So just to show you, I will delete this announcement bar right here, and you don't have to do that. I just want to show you how this works, and I'm actually going to undo it in a second anyway. So now if I move back to desktop by clicking this icon right here, you can see that nothing changes. And this is a great feature because it allows you to customize your mobile version as a different entity, which comes in handy when some of the changes you make to the desktop version don't translate very well to mobile. Now when you're using a template, this won't happen a lot, but if it does, we can easily make the necessary adjustments from here. So let me actually undo this right here, and to do that you can use these arrows here at the top. So the left one is to undo something and the right one is to redo it. Then we also have this icon which allows us to zoom in or out of our website. So now we are at 100%, and if we click on it, we will zoom out to 50%, which is useful to see our website in a perspective way as a whole. So after we actually start editing things, we can use this to see how our website looks like in the bigger picture. But when you actually want to edit the website, it's best to put it at 100% zoom to get more editing options and see it more clearly. So I'll click this again to zoom in. Now moving on, you also have this menu right here, and the first thing is site, which has options like saving, preview, publish, which you also have on the right side anyway. An important one here though is that if you mess something with your website that you can't repair by using the undo or the redo buttons, you can go to site history right here and choose an earlier version that you saved. Then you also have settings where you have a lot of important stuff, like you can connect to the domain, you can get a mailbox, upgrade, change the favicon, business info, socials, but we're gonna go through this a bit later. So for now, let's just get back to our editor. Now the last thing I haven't shown you yet is this left toolbar where you can add elements, sections, pages. You can also make changes to your website, you can add apps and so much more. So let me actually show you the first one right here, which is to add elements. And here you can add text, images. Wix offers quite a lot of free images for a lot of different categories. You also have buttons, elements, decorative, boxes, galleries, menus, forms for pretty much anything you need, video and music. You can even add those to your site from YouTube, Facebook and so on, interactive, lists and a lot of stuff, pretty much anything you can think of. Like you can add payments, a blog, bookings, you can make this an online store and so on. And all of these are actually just drag and drop. So let's say you want to add a video, we go to video and music and let's add a YouTube video. And boom, you can change the video from here, go to settings and so on. So this is just the first thing in this toolbar, and I think you can already see how powerful it is. You can actually build an entire website from scratch with this toolbar without even needing a template. Now I don't want to go too in depth here because this tutorial is running quite long already, and my goal here is to show you how you can edit your template and make it the website you want. But feel free to play a bit with this toolbar because all of these things are just drag and drop and pretty straightforward. So we're going to use some of this stuff in our tutorial, and I'm going to do my best to explain everything we're going to do. But for now, let's move on and actually start editing our template. So what I want to do is to change this into a website for our fictional ice cream shop called One Click Ice Cream. Now, absolutely everything you see here can be edited. So let's actually start from top to bottom. And the first thing we have here is this announcement bar. You might have this or not in your template, but if you have it and want to edit it, you can simply double click on it and click edit text. And now you can just type the text you want here like this. Obviously, you don't want to type text. You can use this to display something important like a discount, or maybe you have a specific promotion, but I will just keep it as is, displaying the physical address and the opening times. You can also change the colors, the font, and a lot of things from here. So you can choose, for example, any of these fonts. You can change the size from here by just moving this around. You can also change the color from here, so just click this icon and pick the one that you like. You can even highlight the text like this. So for this website, I will change the background color of this bar, and we can easily do that by clicking change strip background. And here I click on the color, and now here at the bottom I'll click add, and I will type my color in here, and now click apply. Now going back to our paragraph, I want to remove the highlight we just added, which can simply be done like this. And now I'll leave the same font, and as for the size, I'll make it 18 pixels. Now, one thing that you should do is to change the actual links for the socials. So just click on them and now click set social links. And here you can add more with this button. You can also change the icon for each one of them here on the right. To do that, you can click replace icon right here and just use this search bar to find the one that you want. So maybe you want a different icon for Facebook. Just type Facebook in here and boom, these are all of the free icons that you can use for Facebook. You can also upload your own by using upload media right here. I like the current one, so there's nothing I actually want to change here, but I wanted to show you that you can do this if you want. Now in here, what we actually should do is to change the links with the actual social media profiles you have for your website. So just click here on the link, and in this box you can paste your Facebook page link in this situation. If you don't have one, you can delete Facebook and add only the socials you actually have for your website. If you don't have any, you can delete the socials altogether by just clicking on them and press delete on your keyboard. But it's a good idea to make at least an Instagram page and a Facebook or a Twitter account for your website, which by the way is very easy to do, and I think it will definitely help your website look more professional. So for example purposes, let's assume I have a Facebook page for this website, so I'll type it right here instead of Wix. Now you should always let this open in a new window, because if you select current window, they will be taken away from your website and they might never return, which you don't want. So leave it as new window and click done. Awesome. Now you can simply do the same thing with the rest of them by just selecting another one like this. And if you want to delete it, you can just click on this icon right here. And when you finish with all of them, just click done. Alright, so this is pretty much all I wanted to do with this announcement bar. Now the great part is that every piece of text on your website can be edited exactly how we did with this one, as well as with the social media links. So maybe you don't have them in your header as I do, and you have them in your footer or somewhere else in your website, but the great part is that they are going to work exactly the same. The Wix editor is working exactly the same regardless of the template you're using. So once you know how to deal with text, for example, you know how to deal with text wherever it is and wherever you want it to be on your website. The same applies for anything that I'm going to show you in this tutorial. Everything is very linear and is going to function exactly the same on your end, no matter the position or the small differences. And I'm saying this because maybe some of you were thinking, well, I don't even have an announcement bar on my template, so how is watching this going to help me? So I just want to mention that I'm not showing you how to make a certain website. Instead, I'm showing you how to use this editor, which has the same parameters in any situation, to build any website in the world you want. So even if you encounter these elements in another part of your website or in a different way, feel free to use the timer on this video to come back to the part of this tutorial that is relevant for you in that situation. So I just wanted to mention this because this is the correct way to view this tutorial in order to get the most out of it. Now let's move on to our navigation bar, and the first thing that we can see is this menu, which basically has some quick links to the most important parts of our website. As you can see here on my website, the first one is flavors, which is one of the most important things someone will want to check out when visiting an ice cream shop website. So if you want to edit this, just click on manage menu. And here you can hide or show some of these. As you can see, the home page here is being hidden, and you can show a page that is hidden by simply clicking on these dots and then on show right here. The same thing applies if you want to hide it. So now I will click again the three dots and then click on hide. You can also change the text by double clicking it. So instead of flavors, I can say menu and click done, but honestly flavors it's better, so I leave it as is. Now I actually want to show online ordering, and I also change the text to uppercase to maintain the design. And to see it, just close this page like this, and now as you can see, some of the pages are being hidden because currently they don't have enough space to be displayed. And we have this option called more by followed by dots right here, which serves as a drop down list, but I actually want to display them all, so I will give it more space. Now as long as it doesn't interfere with other elements in there, I can simply click on it and drag it like this. Now you can also make some design changes by clicking this icon right here, and you can pick other pre-made designs from this list. So to see how it looks, just drag your mouse on them like this. Or if you want to make some specific customizations to the ones that you currently have, you can simply click on customize design, and you can change the colors, you can add shadows, you can design the text, and so on. I actually want to leave mine as they are, but you feel free to play with these settings a bit if you want, and always remember that you can use the undo button right here to change them back. Now the next thing we can take care of is the logo, and an easy way to make a logo is to use Canva, for which I will leave you a link in the description down below, so just check the description for that. You can also just type your website name and maybe use a font like Montserrat and combine the bold with the regular style, but I already have a logo prepared for this website, so in order to add it, all you have to do is to click here on the plus icon, then on image, here click on upload images, and now I will just upload it from my computer. Awesome. Now this is obviously way too big for the designated space I have for the logo, so we can simply make it smaller like this. And now I think it fits just fine. Great. Now there's also this order online button, which I actually want to leave as is, as well as this login bar right here. Sometimes you don't have to edit everything, you can just leave some things as they are, as long as they fit your purpose. Now we have this slideshow, for which you can easily change the background by clicking on it like this, and then click on change section background, and here you can either choose to change it with a color, an image, or a video. Now I will not change this because I think it looks really good as is, but I wanted to let you know that you can actually upload your own image or video right here, or just add a background color. So if you want to add an image, for example, you can click on image right here, and Wix actually offers quite a lot of free images to choose from. So you have media from Wix, which are their free images. You also have Shutterstock, which are going to be premium images that cost money, and there's also Unsplash, which are going to be free as well. So unless you find something really good at Shutterstock, you should stick with media from Wix and Unsplash. And to search through all these images, just type what you actually want here in the search bar. So I'll type ice cream, and there you'll get a lot of different choices, and you can also do the same thing with Unsplash, or you can upload your own photos using this button right here. So if you have a restaurant or something like that, I definitely recommend uploading your own photos, but you can always use the ones from here too. And once you find the photo you want, just select it like this, and then click on change background to add it to your website. Now I'm not actually going to do that, as I said, so let me close this. But what I will actually do if this website was for a real ice cream shop is to replace this cone with the ice cream that this business actually sells. And what I actually want to do here is to add some effects to this text and change the color and the design of this button. So to do that, let's start with the first piece of text right here. So edit text, and in here I will open the effects list and pick this one. And I want to do the same thing to this one as well. Alright, now to change the design of this button, we simply select it and then click on this icon where it says design, and in here I will click customize design and pick this one from this list. Now I also want to add a background color, which can simply be done from fill color and opacity by clicking on this square, and in here I will add the same color as for the announcement bar. And I'll make the background a bit larger to fit the current text, and I also want to change the text color to white. So for that we go here where it says text, and to change the color as before we have to click on this square that has the current color. So click on it, and from this color picker just select white. Now I'll also make the font size a bit smaller. I also want to make it bold, and again resize the background to fit the text. Now we can close this, and the last thing I want to do here is to arrange this button on the middle. Great, let me save what we did so far. And by the way, when you save for the first time, this pop-up will appear, and if you don't want to appear again, just tick this box and click done. Alright guys, I'm going to stop here for this lesson, and we're gonna continue with our about section right here in the next one. Alright, now moving on to the next section, we have an image and some text on the right, and what you could do here is to change this image with a picture with your actual flavors or menu, if this is for a restaurant, which can be done in the exact same way I just showed you, and you should also replace this text with yours. So for example purposes, instead of just our flavors, I will say check out our flavors, and I leave this fresh and tasty because it actually fits very well with what I would actually say myself. But you can obviously change all the text in your sections with actual text about your business or yourself, and you can do that exactly as I showed you before. The same with this paragraph, which is actually just letting us know that we should replace it with our own text, and they even tell us how. So remember to replace these with your own content. Now I want to change the text of this button to say see more instead of just menu, and to do that I select it, then click on edit text, and here I'll just type see more. And now we also have this promotional section, which is very similar to the welcome section we just edited above. So I will change this image with one that has some people enjoying ice cream in it. So let me do that. And to do this, as before, I click on change section background right here, then pick image, and in here I'll type ice cream. And this one looks awesome, so I'll add it by selecting it and click change background. Now I think this looks amazing. The only thing that it has to be done though is to highlight the text, because now you can barely see it. So to do that, as before, we select the text, edit text, and then we click on this icon called highlight, and I'm going to use the same color as before to maintain our design. I'll also make this bold and give it this effect. And I'll pick the same effect for the second piece of text as well. Now, obviously I'm not changing the text because this website is just for example purposes, and I don't want to waste time on that, but in most cases you should replace the content on the website with your own. So don't forget to do that, especially for the paragraphs like the one above which says I'm a paragraph, click me to add your own text. It will be very unprofessional to leave that as is, so just remember to make the appropriate changes when needs be. Now the next section is basically an about us page where you can say something about your business, and as you can notice it's very similar to the one we have above. The only difference is that it has a text on the left and the image on the right. And the great thing about these templates is that they are very symmetrical, so once you edit the first sections, the rest will pretty much follow the same pattern, so you don't have to work a lot to figure new things out all of the time. You just repeat the same process. So let's assume that our ice cream shop is located somewhere by the sea, and I leave them as they are. Now obviously here's the place where you can actually say something about your business and its location, so if you have similar sections, fill those with your information. Now the only thing I'll do here is change this image, which we can do it the same way as before. So here I'll search for ice cream again and see what comes up. And I think this is perfect because it's actually showing some people buying ice cream, so I'll add this one. Cool, for the next section I want to have a look and hopefully I can find an image with someone actually delivering ice cream. And I think I found exactly what I wanted. This one is perfect and exactly what we need. So I'm going to add some shadows to the first piece of text right here to make it stand out a bit better. And I'm also going to highlight the second one and make it smaller. And the next thing I want to change is this button because it's very hard to see it on top of this image. But before that, I also want to change the text to say order now. So let me do that really quick. And now I'm going to change the design with this one right here from my buttons, which we already used previously. Then click customize design because I want to make the text a bit smaller and bold too. Now another thing that I want to show you here that I forgot to mention is that if you go here on hover, you can change the background color of this button when people drag their mouse on it. So by default, most templates have this effect on the buttons, so you might want to check this as well and choose a color that fits your brand the most. Now I'm going to leave this as is, but you can change the color in the same way just by clicking on this square, and to change the text color, just go here to text and you do the same thing. Alright, now I want to delete the next section because I think this is actually not necessary. So if you have a section that you want to delete as well, all you have to do is to select it and click delete on your keyboard like this. Now the last section that we have on this website is the Instagram feed, and if you got this as well on your template but you don't have an Instagram account for your business with some actual pictures to display in here, you might want to delete this altogether, at least until you get some pictures. So for example purposes, I will assume I have one, so the next thing I want to do here is to connect my Instagram account, and to do that you simply click here on settings, then just connect either your business or your personal account. And you can control your Instagram feed from these options on the left side. So once you connect your Instagram account, you can use them to adjust how you want things to be displayed. Now what I want to do here is to remove the background underneath this ice cream cone because I don't think it looks very good design wise. So let me do that. Now I could use the settings to hide the background, but I want to delete it altogether. Alright, now as for these pictures, you can actually choose which pictures you want to display here and add custom Instagram links by clicking here on manage links. Now obviously in order to use this you have to connect your Instagram account first. Also, you might want to add some text and say something in your Instagram feed section. In my case, I could change this hashtag or maybe just say something else entirely, which I'm not going to do, but I just wanted to mention that you could do that. You can edit the existing text in the same way as before. Just click on it and then click edit text. Or if you want to add new text, you can click the plus icon right here and from text, just drag and drop the kind of text you want to add like this. Now that's pretty much it with this section as well. And now the last thing we have to take care of on our website is the footer. And what I want to do here is to add the logo here on the left side as well. And to do that, I could either use the plus icon right here and on the image just pick it from the side images right here, or I could copy it from our header. And I actually think that's easier because I will not have to change the size again. So to copy an element that you want to paste on another part of your website, you can simply select it like this and right click on your mouse, then copy. Or you can use Command C or Control C on your keyboard. Now to paste it, you just do the same thing, right click and paste or use Command V. So let me position it in the middle and I also want to make it clickable. So to do that, we can use this option called link and choose where we want this to take people when it's being clicked. And I want them to be taken to home, so I'll select that from here and I'll leave it as current window. Now the next thing I want to do here in the footer is to change this text right here. So I'll leave the copyright symbol and the year. You might want to put the current year, but I leave it as 2035, put a comma and say one click ice cream all uppercase. Now I also want to select only the website name again and click on link and set this to take us to home when being clicked by using this link option right here. Leave it as current window and done. And I'll actually select it once again to remove the underline that they've added right here. Alright, now you also want to change these things with your own information. I'll leave them as they are because, as I said, this is a fictional website and I want to save some time and focus only on the editor, but once again, you should always replace these things with your own information. And we also have the socials again, so you can do the same thing as for the ones in the header as I showed you in the beginning, or to save yourself some time, you can delete these ones and copy and paste in here the ones from the header as I did with the logo. Now the homepage is kind of done. Obviously you can play with the settings and customize it even more, but I wanted to cover as much as I could as quick as possible. We still have some important things to take care of, but I wanted to say congratulations if you're still here because we just finished our homepage. We will check how it looks on mobile as well in a second and make the necessary changes, but for now I want to save what we did so far and publish our website so we can see it outside of this editor. So to save your progress, you can click save right here, and now let's click on publish as well. And our website is officially live and people can access it at this weird link right here, which is not ideal, and we're gonna talk about it in a second, but for now let's click on visit site and have a look at our website. And I think our website looks really nice, especially for something that has been done in just about 20 minutes. Now of course you can put more time in it and make it even better, but being able to do something like this all by yourself in so little time, I think it's amazing. And a lot of people don't even know that this can be done, and they choose to pay hundreds of dollars to agencies to make something like this, and all that is on top of hosting and normal expenses that every website has. And I saw websites that people paid quite a lot of money for and they don't even look this good. So I hope you can see by now that you made the right choice by wanting to do this yourself and watching this video. Now one thing that you probably noticed is this ad right here, which is being displayed because we are on the free weeks plan. So as long as we are on the free plan, they are going to display this ad right here. And also our website is only going to be available at this weird domain extension that combines our email address with wixsite.com, which also needs our website name at the end in order to work, which in all honesty, it looks pretty bad and unprofessional. Also, another thing that you should know is that if you're going to keep this domain, people won't be able to find your website on Google, and there will be another way to access it besides copying and pasting this exact address into the browser. So obviously what we have to do is to add a custom domain name, something like oneclickicecream.com, which looks more professional and makes it easier for people to access our website. So let's actually have a look at upgrading here back on our editor. So click on upgrade here at the top and then on compare plans. And here we landed on business and e-commerce plans, and you need these ones only if you want to accept payments on your website. So if your website is an e-commerce website or you plan to offer your visitors the option to order and pay online, this might be the right category for you. But if you don't need online payments, the website plans are great for pretty much anything else, and also a bit cheaper. So in my opinion, the website plans are more than enough for pretty much any website as long as you don't want to accept payments. Now in order to connect a domain, you have to pick at least the connect domain plan right here, which is $4 per month. And I don't want to say this is mandatory, but it's extremely recommended for anyone that wants this for anything more than just a personal or a school project. And I say this for various really important reasons. So even if this is just an extension of your CV or a wedding website, I think you should connect a domain because that weird address might even be marked as spam by email providers like Gmail, Yahoo. And if you send this to people that maybe don't know you that well, especially a potential employer or client, they might not even click it because it's a weird link that looks a bit spammy, and some people might consider it dangerous, especially the ones that don't know you. And if you're making this for a real business or a portfolio that will be seen by real clients, I think you should at least pick one of these, because obviously you want a custom domain and you also don't want Wix to display any ads on your website, because with the connect domain one, Wix will still display ads on your website. Now you probably noticed this 50% discount for the next 48 hours, and you might have this as well, and this applies only to the unlimited and VIP plans, making them really cheap. Like the unlimited one, it's $5.50, which makes it very close in price to the cheapest one, and even cheaper than the combo. So if you have this discount as well, it might be a good idea to go with one of these. The only thing though is that the 50% discount applies only if you choose the yearly billing cycle. So if you want to go monthly, you're going to pay the normal price without any discount. So you might want to read them through and choose the best one for your needs. Now one thing that I want to mention that maybe some people don't, kind of the real truth, is that you can't have a real website without spending at least a few dollars, and this applies to pretty much any other way of making a website. So even if you want to make one with WordPress, which maybe some of you heard is free, in reality you actually have to buy hosting and a domain right from the start. And I'm not even going to talk about the fact that this is going to be way more complicated than what we did here today. So long story short, any way of making a real website involves spending a little bit of money. So even if you choose to make one with Wix, where they take care of the technical stuff, which is going to be easier for you, or you do it with WordPress or code, where you have to be more tech savvy, you're still going to pay a few bucks each month or make your payment for a full year to save more money. So I just wanted to be transparent and let you guys know how things are. Now 7 or 10 bucks a month, it's a very small business expense, and it cannot even be compared to some real business expenses. So in terms of cost, this is more equivalent to a magazine subscription or Netflix. And as I said before, because you came here and learned to do this yourself, you saved at the very least $200 by not paying someone else to do it for you. And that money alone can keep your website live and running for about 3 years. Obviously, if you made this for your business, freelance, or to advance in your career, you'll make those $7 or $10 very quickly. So this website will pay for itself anyway. So with that being said, I'm going to pick the combo plan right here, and I kind of recommend that to you guys as well if you don't want to go yearly and get the discount. So if you want to pay monthly or you don't have the 50% discount, the combo plan should be more than enough for a new website anyway. And if later on you start getting a lot of visits and it gets slow, you can always upgrade to unlimited. Now here we have to choose our billing cycle, and I'll choose monthly because this is just for example purposes. But if you're going to choose yearly, you're going to get a free domain name and you're also going to save some money. Now obviously if you want to go yearly and you have the 50% discount, just go for unlimited because it's going to be way cheaper than this one, and it's also a better plan. So if you want to keep your website for at least a year, it might be a good idea to look into the yearly billing cycle. But if you're not sure for now, you can choose monthly. You can change to yearly later on anyway if you decide to. So after you decide which billing cycle you want, click continue to checkout. Then here you have to fill this up with your information, and when that's done, click submit purchase. Now I'm actually gonna do this really quick and get back to you in a second. Alright, now once you finish with the payment, you'll arrive on this page where you can actually add your own domain to your website. And if you already have a domain, you can click here to connect it, and then you can just follow the steps that they will provide. Now if you don't have a domain, you can just find a new one here. So to do that, we can type the domain name we want in this box. This website is called One Click Ice Cream, so I run a search for oneclickicecream.com. Which is available, and now I can get it by clicking this button. But before I do that, one thing that I want to mention here is that it's not mandatory to pick a .com domain, but if your website is meant to be worldwide, the .com will be better than a .ca extension, which is Canada, or .co.uk one. So if you want your website to be worldwide and you're not operating mainly in a specific country, you might want to go for a .com domain or at least a .net one. But if you have like a physical restaurant that operates only in the UK, for example, you can just pick the .co.uk extension. So for example, One downclickicecream.co.uk. So obviously first you should try to see if you can find your desired domain with a .com extension, but if you can't and your website is going to mainly operate and target your current location, you can use your country domain extension. They exist for pretty much any country in the world, so just run a search on Google if you're not sure which one is for your country. Now if you're still having trouble getting a domain with the name you actually want for your website, you can also try different variations of the name you want, like adding an extra word or a letter. And if you haven't decided your website or your business name yet, a quick trick that I want to show you is to go on Google and type Wix business name generator, open the first link, and here just type the relevant words. So I can type ice cream, and here mention the industry, which in my case it's ice cream again, and click generate name, and they'll give you a lot of name suggestions that you can use for your business and your website. Besides, you can also use leandomainsearch.com, which pretty much does the same thing but is generating only available domain names. So guys, I hope this will help you find the right domain for you, and once you have a domain that is available, click on get it like this, and here you can just choose 1 year, which is going to be $13 for the full period. Now you can actually get your domain from other domain name register companies like Namecheap, which are going to be cheaper. So I think Namecheap actually have the best prices. I always buy my domains from there. So on Namecheap you'll pay about $9 for a full year, and the privacy will also be free, so you're saving quite a bit. The only thing though is that you'll have a few extra steps to do, like using your DNS settings to connect it to Wix, which for beginners it might seem a bit scary at first. In reality it's not that hard. Wix it's actually providing you with the steps. It's generally just a bit more work. So if you don't mind a few extra minutes of work, just go to namecheap.com and buy a domain from there. I'll also leave you a link for that in the description down below. Now if you don't mind paying a few extra dollars for the convenience of not having to deal with this stuff, buying it from Wix might be a good idea. So for example purposes, I will get this directly from Wix. Now if you guys want a separate tutorial on how to buy your domain from Namecheap and connect it to Wix, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to make one. So I'm going with 1 year and click continue. Here you have to fill this up with your information again, then click continue. I'll actually pause this for a quick second to do that, and I'll see you on the next page. And here's the privacy I told you about a bit earlier, which I do recommend taking it, because if you don't, anyone can look up your domain on who he is and basically get your details like your address, phone number. So having this checked will save you from the spammy emails and phone calls and just keep your information private. So I will leave this checked. Now as I said, if you choose to buy your domain from Namecheap, this is going to be free. So again, it's really up to you and your preferences. Now the next step is to click continue here, which will take us to the checkout, where we'll just have to click submit purchase. The good news is that if you paid for a plan as I did a bit earlier, your card has already been saved, so you don't have to retype it again. So when you get to the next step, the only thing you have to do is to click submit purchase. Now for privacy reasons, I'm going to pause the video for a second to submit my purchase, and I'll see you on the completion page. Alright, so now you'll see this page that says thank you for your purchase and that our new domain is now assigned to my site. And one thing to mention here is that it might take up to 24 hours for everything to update, so you can actually have your website available on this domain, but it's usually going to take just about an hour or less. Also, you might have to verify your email address first, so have a look in your inbox and first of all make sure you confirmed your email address with Wix, which should be like the first email they sent you right after you created your site. And once that's done, if you get any other email from them regarding your newly purchased domain, make sure to verify that as well. Now let's actually head back to our website editor and finish the rest of the stuff that we have to do here. And the next thing that I want to do is to see how our website looks on mobile, so we can make sure everything looks okay there as well. Now as you can see, we have some things to optimize here. First of all, the header looks very messy, so I will delete this button and these socials right here. And now I'll make the text a bit smaller as well. Then I'll make this logo a bit bigger and position it in the middle along with this hamburger menu. Now I also want to remove some of the spacing here and just align these two in the center. Great, now the next sections look fine. The only thing that I want to do is to add some space between this text right here and also align everything in the middle. And next I will push this text right here to the bottom. Alright, now I think everything looks okay on mobile as well. Obviously you can customize it even more because the changes you make here won't affect the desktop version, so feel free to do that if you want. But I will press save and go back to the desktop version. So the last thing I want to talk about is that beside your homepage, your website also has a few other pages, like in this case the menu page, online ordering, book an event, about us, and reservations, which you can simply access from here as I showed you in the beginning. So you can use this right here to visit any page that your website has, because as I said in the beginning as well, you can't access them by clicking the buttons while in editing mode. So let's go on the menu page and you can edit the content in here the same way we did with the homepage. And you might want to change the actual menu with your own menu if you're making a website for a restaurant or something something that has a menu. These pages will be specific to the type of website you want to make anyway. So if you want to make a restaurant, you will have similar pages. If you want to make another type of website, you'll have pages related to that type of website. So just remember to edit these pages as well with your own content. You can also change this text to something else and do pretty much anything you want the same way as we did with the homepage. And just to give you a quick example of how you can edit this menu, you just select it and now click on Manage Menus. Then we can click on flavors, and here are the sections of our menu. So for example, to edit the dairy-free flavors, just click on it, and now you can click on edit for each one of them, and here you can change the photo, the text, and pretty much everything else. You can also find this in your dashboard, because as you can see, this is actually our dashboard minimized right here. Now once you're done with the menu, you can move on to the next page, which in my case it's online ordering. Now this menu is the exact one we just saw, so every change we make in there will also appear in here. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Now, as I said in the beginning, I actually want to change this really quick into a pizza restaurant called Utopian Pizza, so you can see how easily you can transform these templates around into any kind of website you want, because in reality you can actually use this exact ice cream shop template to make any kind of website that requires a menu. So hopefully this will prove what I said earlier, that it doesn't matter if you can't find a template that's an exact match to the type of website you want to make. As long as it has similar pages, you're good to go. Now I'm going to do this using the editor in the exact same way as we used it so far, so I'll get to work and get back to you when it's done. Alright guys, so this is the site for our pizza restaurant. As you saw, I followed the same pattern and used the editor in the exact same way I showed you. Now let me actually publish this so we can have a look at it on our domain, because our domain is actually working as well. For me it took just about a few minutes. So if we click here on view site, you can see that the website is now available at oneclickicecream.com instead of that weird address that we had before. Now this is our restaurant website. It took me about 5 minutes to change this all together, and now this is basically a pizza restaurant. I mean, if someone sees this for the first time, they will have no idea that this was an ice cream shop just a few minutes ago. So this is how powerful Wix is, and I hope now you can see that by just using the editor in the way that I showed you, you can easily make a website for anything you need, even if you don't find a template that's an exact match. So this is pretty much how you can make a website using a template. As I said in the beginning and all the way through this tutorial, the editor works the same regardless of the template you choose or the type of website you want to make. So you can edit any part of your website using the same techniques we've used so far. Now one last thing that I want to show you is that in order to access your dashboard, which is the backend of your website, you can simply hover your mouse over the Wix logo right here and now click on go to dashboard. And in here you can see how many visitors your website gets, manage your site and app. You can also make a mobile app for your site, by the way. Then you can manage your restaurant from here, like you can change the menu, see orders, table reservations, and so on. Then you have booking calendar, gift cards, subscriptions. You can start a loyalty program, contacts, where you can see all the contacts you've gathered through your website, communications, automations, marketing, and SEO. Then you also have settings, apps. So basically here in your dashboard, you can manage everything related to your website. The good thing is that pretty much all of these are self-explanatory, so just have a look in here when you got some time in order to get used with your dashboard and all of these options. Alright guys, so that's it with this lesson, which is the last one in the course. I really hope you found it useful and that this free course helped you. And if it did, I really appreciate it if you could leave a review, which will probably be asked to do now at the end if you haven't left one already. So it will mean the world to me if you can do that. Now with that being said, I wish you good luck with your website and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next course.